dear Taurians, and welcome to your April 2021 horoscope. Now, April is a busy month. We've got a few planets going into your sign, so lots of new opportunities and good positive energies as well. So let's break this month down for you and see what it brings on a more personal level, starting from Mercury, the planet of communication, mind, and curiosity, is moving into Aries on the 3rd of the month, where it will remain until April 20th. So it's a pretty short transit, but for you more specifically, this is the 12th house of hidden, of subconscious mind. Now, this is also where both the Sun and Venus will be present. Venus and Sun moved into Aries in the second part of March. So here we've got a bit of fire energy to start with this month. Actually quite a lot, because we didn't have much throughout this year yet. We had mostly air energy, lots of air energy, and now we have some fire energy finally. But the 12th house, so whenever we have planets in the 12th house, this is when the energy of this planet is not very much activated. It's quite hidden. Now with Mercury here, transiting your 12th house, you might feel like you want to keep some things to yourself during this time. So there is some secrecy or mystery involved in your communication style, in your self-expression, and you might not have this desire to share your opinions, thoughts with others. You might want to keep some things to yourself. And also there is a tendency of being misunderstood by others as well. And as a result of that, you might feel like, oh, I'm not going to share it next time because perhaps, but this is a temporary feeling. So don't get too engaged with this energy. Just keep this in mind, that if you are misunderstood by others, then this is just a temporary feeling. And also Venus and the Sun are here. So you are kind of ending some chapters in your life. These are some closures. When the planets move into the 12th house, we are dealing with some endings, so ending some projects. Or if we start something around this time, this is likely to be from behind the scene. And only then when the planets move into the first house, we will be ready to reveal them into the public, only because we will now feel more comfortable internally, more comfortable with that. All right, so on the 11th of the month, we've got a new moon happening in Aries. And for you, this is also in the 12th house. So as you can see, the first part of the month, there is a lot happening in your 12th house. A new moon is usually a time of new beginnings, a fresh start, especially since it's happening in the sign of Aries, that is connected to new projects, new things, new beginnings. And also, this is the first new moon in the astrological year, because Aries is the first sign of the Zodiac. But for you, this new moon is happening in the 12th house. So in a way, you could be ending something, because you are ending a 12-month cycle with this new moon. So there could be some endings again, some closures, some you could be finishing some projects this time. Or the 12th house new moon is also connected to working from behind the scene, especially with all the influences of the other planets like Mercury and Venus as well. So if you're planning on starting some projects, then it's a great idea to just wait with revealing them to the public, in case you have the urge to, with the next new moon in Taurus in May. All right, so let's move on. We've got 14th of May, we've got Venus moving into Taurus, into your sign. And this is a really, really great transit. Like Venus transits in any house are lovely, but when the Venus comes into our own sign, into the first house, then this is a really great time, because we make such a great impression on others. We feel more appreciated by others, because when Venus is in the 12th house, oftentimes we feel we feel like we are not appreciated enough by others. So it's a time of perhaps letting go in a way, or sacrificing something. But with the first house, this is more about us. This is more about our needs, our desires. And this is also a time when you are just happy with yourself, happy with the way you are, you want to pamper yourself perhaps. And generally it's a very pleasant time. You attract very positive experiences into your life with Venus in your first house, and it's also your planetary ruler, so it makes it extra special. If you're watching this forecast for your sun or for your moon, this is equally a really lovely transit which will last until the end of the month. So that's from the 14th, and on the 20th of the month we've got also Mercury coming here, and then the sun. So as you can see, lots of energies now leaving the 12th house and moving into your first. So you feel more alive now with all these planets in your first house, more energized. The vitality is up. And generally it's a very positive time with so many positive energies, because Venus is a feminine, it's a loving energy, the planet of balance and harmony. So you seek more harmony and balance in your life with this energy. Mercury, there is this great desire for self-expression. Communication becomes much easier. You enjoy communicating with others and you feel less misunderstood as well. So it's a really great time for doing some presentations or having interviews or anything that is connected to verbal communication or even written or generally presenting yourself, because this is a really good time with all these positive energies in your first house. On the 23rd of the month, we've got Mars moving into your third house of communication, mind, siblings, short trips. Now, Mars is energy that is very dynamic, impulsive, and very fast moving. So here with the third house, with Mercury in your first house and Mars in your house of communication, conversations will play a key role here towards the end of the month. Lots of communications, conversations, phone calls, text. You could be even overwhelmed with the amount of text messages or messages that you will be receiving, some of you at least. But also there is a tendency of being very much connected to our own beliefs or opinions. And if someone disagrees with them, we might feel like take it in an offensive way. So it's something to keep in mind. Also, if you're going to get involved in some hot conversations, then there's, with Mars here, there is also a tendency of speaking before thinking, because we might be more impulsive and more impatient as well. So again, something to remember with this transit. If you're planning to do any short trips, because the third house is connected to the short trips, then make sure you check your speed and you don't drive too fast, because you might even unintentionally, most likely unintentionally, drive faster than it is permitted. Right, so also siblings, neighbors, more generally interaction with people from your immediate environment as well here with Mars. So lots of activity here surrounded around your immediate surroundings. And the month ends with a full moon happening in your 7th house of love, relationships, marriage. So here with this full moon, we end the month feeling more concerned about people who are close to our heart. Now, with all the planets in your sign, so the Sun, Venus and Mercury from the second part of the month, you are very much probably concerned about your own needs, your own desires. But here, the full moon in Scorpio brings the attention to your close relationships, one-to-one relationships here with the 7th house. The 11th house is more about groups. Now, a full moon is a time of letting go, so forgiveness. Perhaps it could be a good time to forgive people who are close to our heart, maybe resolve some issues through conversation, because you are so well spoken during this time. Conversations become, communication comes very easily. Perhaps this could be a good time to resolve some issues in your personal relationships. Also, this full moon is connected to the new moon in Scorpio that we had in November 2020. So if you began something around that time, then now you could see some outcomes or results of those new beginnings during that time. And with this in mind, I would like to thank you very much for your attention. I hope April is a good month for you. It's the month where some of Taurians that have got their Sun in Taurus will have their birthday, so happy birthday to you. And I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.